So it's time to move on with my wild card playoff predictions and shift focus to the Sunday games. And this video is going to be me discussing the early Sunday game where Andy Dalton and his Cincinnati Bengals will travel into Indianapolis to take on Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. You know, it's funny if you really think about it for a second. A lot of people like to crap on the Bengals, or in particular Andy Dalton. But when all's said and done, the Bengals have made the playoffs 4 consecutive seasons now. That's something that even the Seattle Seahawks haven't done. Now, granted, the Seahawks have done much better over the past few seasons. I'll give you that. But just think about that for a second. As much as everybody likes to talk about Andy Dalton, as much as we like to make fun of the fact that the Bengals can't win primetime featured games, this is a Bengals team that has found a way to make the playoffs for the 4th consecutive season, and this year they did it in what was arguably the toughest division in the National Football League in the AFC North. This was a team that also had a shot to win the division in Week 17 before falling short against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a Bengals team that's loaded with experience, in particular playoff experience, a team with a solid defense that can really run the ball and protects Andy Dalton pretty well. The problem for the Cincinnati Bengals team, though, is a couple of fold. First and foremost is that Andy Dalton is their starting quarterback. And I'm sorry, until proven otherwise, that is a huge burden, that is a huge hindrance to them come playoff time. You also look at the fact that this Bengals team looks like they will be going into this game without their star receiver, A.J. Green. They have limited weapons on the outside as it is, and now you're talking about going up against the Indianapolis Colts without your best offensive weapon. That puts even more pressure on Andy Dalton in that Bengals running game, and that limits what this Bengals offense can potentially do, especially in terms of stretching the Colts defense vertically down the field. It just doesn't look like that good of a recipe for success, combined with the fact that the Bengals all year have consistently struggled to generate any type of real credible pass rush. If you can't get in Andrew Luck's face, he could very well pick you apart. If you don't put a lot of pressure on him, it's going to allow him to do whatever he can feel like he wants to do. From the Indianapolis Colts standpoint, you look at this game, you've got Andrew Luck. Obviously, you've got the big time quarterback advantage there. You have playoff experience too, having made the playoffs the past 2 seasons with Andrew Luck as your starting quarterback, and you won a playoff game last year in dramatic come from behind fashion against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a Colts team that, again, they have that experience. They have those weapons on offense. This is a team that can put up a lot of points. They also have that home field advantage of being able to play at Lucas Oil Stadium, a team that is built to play in that type of venue. You look at the fact also that the Colts have the ability to not maybe have to game plan against an A.J. Green, so that allows them to maybe put more 8 men in the box and force Andy Dalton to beat him. You know, it looks pretty good for the Colts. But just because they're playing at home and just because they have Andrew Luck is no sure thing for a victory. One of the biggest problems for the Indianapolis Colts is they can't run the ball on a consistent basis. And I don't care how great your quarterback is if you are one-dimensional in the National Football League, that could create major problems because most defenses can game plan around that and focus on the one thing you're going to do, which is throw the ball a lot. And the Colts with Andrew Luck will probably have to throw the ball a lot in order to win this or any other playoff game in this playoff season. Beyond question. You also look at this Colts team, and this is a Colts team that can have the rock pounded down their throat. And with a nice 1-2 combination at running back with Gio Bernard and especially Jeremy Hill, one of the real studs of this rookie class of 2014, the Colts could be in some trouble if you're the Bengals and you want to take advantage of your strengths and maximize the Colts' weaknesses. You have to pound the rock early. You have to pound the rock often. You have to negate move away from the fact that you don't have A.J. Green, focus on what you can do, keep that Colts defense on the field, which means you keep Andrew Luck and that Colts offense off the field, so that way when they do get on the field and they're not able to run the ball with any type of consistency, it puts more pressure on Andrew Luck to force the issue, and Bob's your uncle, the Bengals can win this game. And you would think at some point in time the Bengals are due. I mean, they have made it 3 straight years. They really, really have to sit there and be able to figure it out the 4th go-round, can't they? But then again, man, they've got Andy Dalton, and I just don't have any faith in him leading the Bengals to a playoff win at this point in time. I'm not making the same mistake I did last year, getting all gung-ho giggly tits about him. This is a team that struggles to create any type of consistent pass rush, as I've referenced earlier, which means Andrew Luck could be able to sit back and have all day to throw. The Colts have too many weapons on offense. I think they'll be able to outscore the Bengals if they need to. So I'm going to pick the Colts to beat the Bengals probably by like 10 points on Sunday.